Well, as for this suspect, Umar Farouk Abdul Muttalib, a 23-year-old Nigerian, he was claimed today by the group Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. The group saying he is one of theirs and boasting about the failed attack, in fact, promising even worse.
Why it was that he was not flagged in a more specific way when he purchased his ticket.
It looks like this guy on the screen got through metal detectors on the way to try and kill the Prince Nayef. He also had the PETN sewn into his
underwear. Kurt and Lori Haskell think the U.S. government was behind the whole thing.
It was intentional that it went this far to further the war on terror, to get body scanners in the airports, to increase the TSA's budget, to renew the Patriot Act, and whatever other reasons you want to list.
As president, I have a solemn responsibility to protect our nation and our people. And when the system fails, it is my responsibility.
All right, so almost immediately after the failed Christmas Day terror attack, countries all around the world announced that they would be using full-body scanners to screen airline passengers. But because of the graphic images that these scanners are able to produce, many people here in America are objecting to their use, calling them a violation of privacy.
To peer underneath clothing, and for passengers who opt out of the scan, a much more personal full pat-down, with officers now using the front of their hands and more vigorously searching for weapons and explosives.
Here in Chicago, we watched as passengers like this man are subjected to exhaustive security checks. He's patted down, his wheelchair is examined, and his hands are swabbed, all in public view in a see-through room at the security checkpoint. And he's not alone.
He has picked very public battles. Now, former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura is taking on the TSA after he says he was sexually assaulted at an airport checkpoint. Ventura filed a lawsuit just hours ago. Good evening, I'm Gus Rosendale.
I'm Leah McLean. Now, Ventura says that he might lose his TV job because he's refusing to fly.
This guy, can I just show you this? Look at this.
Terrorists want to hijack American democracy. If you see something, say something.
Body scanners obscure passengers' faces.
That's something I would call.
While a screening officer in another room has but a few critical seconds to look for anything suspicious.
Is the TSA going too far when it makes a 4-year-old disabled boy remove his leg braces?
Little boy takes shirt off at the airport.
They harassing a kid? It's ridiculous.
My 3-year-old daughter, Mandy, went from this happy little girl to this during an ordeal through security.
As a baby, Angone was diagnosed with cancer. Her parents, Chicago police officers, had to have her leg amputated. She always warns TSA security agents that her prosthetic leg will set off the metal detector, but many insist on doing an embarrassing full-body pat-down.
Then I feel like I'm being felt up in public.
Personal space, invasion of my personal space, my body.
I understand why it's needed. However, you know, from a personal standpoint, it is an invasion of privacy.
Well, as you've heard, there's been a lot of talk and debate this week about privacy concerns with the TSA's use of full body scanners. But there's another big concern out there as well. Are these machines safe? Are they exposing you to harmful radiation?
New concerns this morning about security at the nation's busiest airports. Undercover security agents managed to smuggle fake bombs or pieces of bombs past TSA screeners more than 60% of the time in tests run last year.
At Los Angeles International Airport, screeners missed 75% of the simulated explosives and bomb parts. At Chicago O'Hare, nearly 60%. Better results in San Francisco, where security is run by a private company. But screeners still missed 20% of the bombs or bomb parts.
Now, we're learning 2 TSA agents have been arrested at JFK Airport in New York City. Now, the New York Daily News reports they were busted for stealing $39,000 from a passenger's bag. Police say the 2 also admitted of thefts up to $160,000. They were charged with grand larceny, possession of stolen property, and official misconduct.
They're responsible for keeping the skies safe. But we've uncovered a group of TSA screeners at LAX caught on tape allegedly using drugs.
Let me set the scene for you for the latest incident. It was this past Sunday night here at LAX about 7:30, probably crowded because a lot of people were coming home from the New Year's holiday, when suddenly a man starts acting strangely. He starts saying, "I'm God, I'm in charge." LAX police arrest that man, and he turns out to be a TSA agent.
Afternoon, a TSA worker at Logan Airport arrested, accused of raping a 14-year-old girl.
Secretary of State Clinton admitted she would not want to pat down.
Well, would you submit to one of these pat downs?
Not if I could avoid it. No, I mean, who would?
Not everyone has to be scanned or patted down. Any federal official with armed bodyguards, like cabinet members or congressional leaders of both parties, have always been allowed to avoid TSA checkpoints. The rest of us have to wait in line.
I issued a challenge to President Obama. If he thinks this is an appropriate way for us to deal with security, as he has defended, then I've said, okay, Mr. Obama, take your wife, your 2 daughters, and your mother-in-law to Washington Reagan National Airport and have them publicly go through both the body scanner and the full enhanced pat-down in front of others. And if it's okay for your wife, your daughters, and your mother-in-law, then maybe the rest of us won't feel so bad when our wives, our daughters, and our mothers are being put through this humiliating and degrading, totally unconstitutional intrusion of their privacy.
Evening to announce that I introduced some legislation today dealing with the calamity that we have found at our airports with TSA. Something has to be done. Everybody's fed up. The people are fed up. The pilots are fed up. I'm fed up. You know, I've come to this floor many times over the past many years and complained about the terrible foreign policy we've had, the terrible monetary policy we had, the excessive spending and the debt, and also the tax policy. But what we're doing and what we're accepting and putting up with at this airport is so symbolic of us just not standing up and saying, enough is enough, enough, enough.